Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about all the 5-star reads that I had in 2024. So I read 58 books total, and out of those I had 12 5-star reads. So my first 5-star read of the year was How to Walk Away by Katherine Center. I actually gave this a 4.75 at the beginning of the year, but I literally can't stop thinking about this book, and that's what made me want to bump it up to a 5-star. Basically, this is about two people who are about to take that next step in their relationship, and something tragic happens and kind of changes everything for them. And the main character goes through turmoil and change and discovers literally how to walk away from something that she thought was supposed to be for the rest of her life and completely starts over. So yeah. The next book is Talking as Fast as I Can by Lauren Graham. I actually listened to this book. She narrates it in the audiobook, and this is just basically about her life and how she came as an actor and what brought her to Gilmore Girls and kind of how her life has changed because of the show. So if you are a Gilmore Girls fan, you would really enjoy this book, and I recommend listening to the audiobook. My next 5-star of the year is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I don't know if this is a surprise or not. Everybody's 5-star this year is Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, and I barely started this series because of how much I heard of that book. So this is following Magnolia and BJ. It is a very, very toxic relationship. This is like rich kids in England. They're in college, opposed to if you like Gossip Girl, high school, and like Upper East Side, New York. But it follows very rich kids and their lives basically, and it's more of a drama than a romance, but I absolutely ate this up. And if you go in knowing that it's toxic and knowing that this is a fictional story, you will also enjoy it. That's what I kept telling myself. I was just like, this is just literally for fun, and I felt like I was watching like a reality TV show. So The Pivot Year by Brianna White. This is set up to be read each day of the year. So it's kind of like little devotionals, poetry, something to think about each day. And I actually got this book because I made my first like big girl move across the country, leaving my childhood home. And I ended up reading this in a span of 3 days. It's a chunky girl, and some of the little poems are actually longer than others, so it did take me a little bit longer, but it was like, I mean, I don't know if you can see my tabs or not, but definitely something that I needed, and a lot of really great words if you're going through a really big change. So this stays on my shelf, and sometimes I pick it up and will like randomly turn to a page and it's like exactly what I needed that day. So yeah. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So this was actually a 4.75, just like How to Walk Away, and I bawled my eyes out. So like more of the experience that I had reading this book made it bumped up to a 5-star. In my journal it's like a 4.75. But I bumped it up to a 5-star read after a couple weeks of like sitting on it. This follows Nora, and she is an author and just kind of like workaholic really, and her sister wants to take her on a trip, to try and get away and open her up to some new things and to like slow down a little bit. And along the way she re-meets somebody and kind of builds a relationship with them. And to me, I took away from this story more of the sister relationship and what they go through on this trip and how they kind of move on and how they go on with their lives. And like I said with the book before, like I moved away from my family, and I have 2 sisters, and I really felt the sister relationship and bond similar to what I have with my sisters. So that's probably why I cried more, was the found family in this book. But Emily Henry is one of those women's fiction, more so than romance, as like a subplot. And yeah, Book Lovers might be my favorite one so far. We'll see. Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This was actually my book club pick for, I think it was August or September. One of those. The besties will know. This is a hyped up book, and so I actually have to jump on that trend. I don't usually read fantasy, and this book has opened up to a different world for me that I thoroughly loved. This like fantastical historical fiction in a way kind of world. I read Ruthless Vows shortly after as well, and I absolutely ate this up. Anything involving writers, really, I love to read. And I'm really excited for her new book to come out this year. So yeah. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Absolutely loved this story from start to finish. I read a lot of historical fiction when I was in middle school and gravitated more towards like the World War II historical fictions and just reading about kids' lives. Like there were like young adult books, so it doesn't get too gruesome, or it goes into enough detail obviously to get the point across. But it was really nice to like dive into a historical fiction again, because I don't read too many of them now. So heartbreaking, beautiful, again, another sister connection. If you are going to pick up a Kristen Hanna book, I would absolutely pick up The Nightingale, and then you are going to just fall on this train of wanting to read all of Kristen Hanna books. There is one on my TBR this year. So yeah. You Are Only Just Beginning by Morgan Harper Nichols. So this is also another poetry book. I read a lot of poetry. And from this video, I don't know if you will be able to tell. Literally that top shelf up there is all my poetry books. I am someone who loves words, and whenever I listen to music, I listen to the lyrics. I'm very poetic. I love that. So I do read a lot of poetry, and this one was also just something I picked up at the time that I needed to hear these words, and that's basically why I keep picking up poetry books, because it's always things I need to hear when I need to hear them. And something really cool about this author is that she has like illustrations throughout of them, and I thought that was really cool and interesting to see. And so this book is set up in like little lessons from different things of like the earth that we can learn from. So basically it was all set up in symbols and how everything kind of relates to everything, and I thought this was absolutely stunning, and I would love to read more from her and collect these books, because this one is always on display like right here. Because of how pretty it is, and also it's one of those books where you can just like turn to a page and it's exactly what you need to hear. So my next 5-star read was Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. Again, hopping on that fantasy-ish train here, and I'm absolutely so excited to pick up Rebel Witch, coming out really soon. I didn't know if I was going to like this or not, because I have heard like mixed feelings, but I loved it. This is a true enemies to lover trope here, and we got basically like witch and a witch hunter, and they don't know that they are the person that they're like trying to look for or avoid or anything like that. So very cool, like this cat and mouse kind of chase, and the first book ends where you like need to pick up the second book. So if you are interested, just like Divine Rivals, like if you are interested in diving into fantasy, I recommend these two. They helped me become a fantasy lover. So, Finding Me by Viola Davis. I listened to this audiobook, and I recommend you listen to it too, because she narrates it. She just talks about basically what she went through in her life and growing up to be who she is and the profession that she chose. And so heartbreakingly beautiful and inspiring, and one of my favorite memoirs of the year, for sure. And if you are an actor or an aspiring actor, I recommend that you also pick up this and listen to it. The last 5-star read of the year was The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Similar to The Nightingale, once I read The Nightingale, I was like, let me pick up the other World War II historical fictions that I have on my shelf. So I've actually had this. Whenever the movie came out is when I picked up this book. Obviously, this is the movie cover. I loved this book, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner, especially since I got it when I was like really reading a lot of historical fiction. Left me crying, left me speechless. I actually haven't watched the movie yet. Want to watch the movie. This is another like if you are into World War II historical fiction, this is easy writing because it is young adult, and I think that you would really like it. And this is just about another person who wants to help and save people and keep joy in people's lives. So, and finally, my book of the year, my favorite book of the year, my favorite 5-star read is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. If you know me, this is not a shocker at all because I love Abby Jimenez. I picked up Part of Your World at the end of 2023 around September, and then I picked up Yours Truly earlier in the year, and for this release, Just for the Summer, and I read this in June with my book club, and we absolutely devoured this. This is a... Justin is absolute book boyfriend. If you haven't heard already, because this is such a popular and hyped up book, this is everything that you want. If he could, he would, and he should. And I related to Emma in this book, and she has such a good way of making relationships work and creating relationships and creating people who are realistic and feel like that this could be happening in real life. She, as well as another author who kind of mixes in women's fiction into romance, and she's so funny. Like, there's so many funny things in this book as well. I cried. I loved this book. It also touches into like mother-daughter relationships and broken relationships with parents, basically, and #1 book of the year. Love Miss Abby Jimenez, and I am so excited for Say You'll Remember Me. Also a hint at Miss Taylor Swift, so I'm excited. If you are wanting to read the Part of Your World interconnected standalone series, I think that you would be fine reading this book on its own, but if you want like the ultimate reading experience where there's like little Easter eggs in Yours Truly, as well from Part of Your World in this book, and the Yours Truly as well. So if you want that full experience, I would recommend reading it in order. You certainly don't have to, and you can certainly just pick this up and be fine with it. So thank you so much for watching this video today. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below what your #1 book was from 2024. And honestly, I'm just so excited to keep reading in 2025. I have a set goal of 60 books, and I am just rolling right along. I just hope to continue reading and finding more joy and love for books each day. So if you want to see more videos by me, make sure that you follow me on all my other social media platforms and subscribe and like this video, and I hope to see you next week.